Rajacharya Ashtotra Satishdeshi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Krishna Balarama ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Madhava ki jai, Grantara Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Harinam Sankirtanam ki jai, Brihat Mridanga ki jai, Yuga Dharma Harinama Sankirtanam ki jai, Wood Holy Name Festival ki jai, Bhadra Purnima ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo, Prabhupada ki jai. All glorious to the assembled devotees, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Prasarine Nirvasesha Sunyahadi Asyatya Deshatani Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Have a little, maybe it's there with some water. Pani. Hare Krishna. Good morning, everybody. Hare Krishna. French translation required for any Vaishnav or Vaishnavi? Some? Okay. One on the Prabhu side. Everyone okay with English, I think. So can we translate for Mataji into French? Is it possible, somebody? Try to work it out. Everyone else okay with English? Okay with English? Okay. Today is the first day on our ISKCON calendar of the World Holy Name Festival. It's been a little, we'd say, low-key this year, not so, let's say, propagated. But still, every day we should, in one sense, our movement is to perform Nam Yogya every day. Kirtani, we hear regularly, Kirtaniya Sadahari. We should always chant Hare Krishna. Not just only when it's, you could say, institutionally organized. Arti time, Harinam once a week. Come and go. Japa, 16 rounds, finished. Thank God. And it's very good in one sense, but the idea is that it's not just a means to an end. The Nam Prabhu is our studya, is our goal in life, is to take shelter of the holy name, being non-different than Krishna. So these are special, again, you could say institutional initiative to a World Holy Name Festival. This movement is actually, that's what it's for, to constantly be in this mood of festival. It doesn't mean mundane perspective of festival. Who was it? Was it Jagannath Babaji, Vamsi Babaji? One of the Babajis, maybe Gorkishore, when they were traveling with their servant one time, and the servant said, tomorrow is something like the appearance day of Sanatana Goswami or something. So Babaji said, tomorrow we will have a festival. But we have nothing to perform a festival. We're in the middle of nowhere. And we have nothing. We have no boga, no money, nothing. No, festival means tomorrow we will chant non-stop 24 hours. That is festival. We put it, because our heart may not be in that state of consciousness, but glorification, festival means to completely glorify or satisfy the heart of the Lord. I think they're still there. I can't see them from here. But Krishna, Balaram, Radha, Govinda, Madhava, and Gaurnitai. But we can do that anywhere, in the forest, in the home, in the office, everywhere. With other services are there, also glorifying the Lord. But generally we hear Jiva Goswami emphasizes, even Prabhupada on many, many occasions, emphasize that along with our other services, whatever they may be, and we keep repeating, and I don't follow myself, but to remind ourselves to chant the holy name of Krishna. That's what this movement is for. Why Prabhupada came to spread the holy name of Krishna and Srimad-Bhagavatam. So during this next 2 weeks of the World Holy Name Festival period is also contained therein is the special Purnima, known as Bhadra. Bhadra means very auspicious, it means auspicious. So Bhadra Purnim, very auspicious occasion. Chaturmasya, anyway, it's the halfway mark of Chaturmasya, a very special day, and different stories are there, the Lord turning over and so on and so forth. But particularly relevant to our movement at this moment is that is the date selected, since the 12th canto Srimad-Bhagavatam emphasizes strongly the benefits of distributing Srimad-Bhagavatam on that day. We're supposed to place the Srimad-Bhagavatam on a golden throne. We maybe golden color throne, maybe, I don't know, we can see, but, and that's the day to distribute gift or distribute Srimad-Bhagavatam. Every day is good for that. But that day is especially good. It's even more good. So if you have any contacts, I'm just, because I'll forget once we start the class. If you have any contacts who might like to get a set of Srimad-Bhagavatam in Hindi, Tamil, Bengali, English, what other languages we have here, we don't have French Srimad-Bhagavatam sets, as you may know. For a long time they've not been available. However, again, good things take a lot of work sometimes to achieve. So a lot of effort and energy has been put into trying to reprint with some, updates, reprint the Srimad-Bhagavatam in French. And it's, well, with COVID, there's always excuses, and they keep delaying. The paper is not available now. And now there's a fire. I don't know how the latest update in Korsnäs Guard in Sweden, sometimes that slowed it down. Different things, but still we're pushing and pushing and pushing and praying that the Srimad-Bhagavatam in French will be ready very soon for distribution. So even though it's not available in, you could say, in physical form right now, on our recent Bhadra Purnima conference, or let's say motivation talk with Vaisheshika Prabhu, Vaisheshika Prabhu said that here in France, if you simply take orders from people who want it, we will count that as a Bhagavatam set for the Bhadra Purnim campaign. So far we have 111 pledges. Most of them are paid up front for the Bhagavatam set, and we're trying to get 201 by the 20th of this month. That's only 10 days to go. So that's a 90, how many? I don't know. 90 sets. Yeah, 90 sets. 9, oh, that's a lot to expect. But anyway, if you have any contacts, please, or don't just tell me, you try to get them to pledge for a Bhagavatam set in French, English, Hindi, Tamil, or Bengali, or any other language come to that, we'll try to order it. But those ones kind of we have at the moment. That's that, Bhadra Purnima. So we go on to the Bhagavatam, because it's related to that. What verse is it today, please? 13. Very good. And we are reading from the Canto 8, Chapter 20, Text 13. And what is the title of the chapter? Jai. Bali Maharaj surrenders the universe. Hare Krishna. So kindly repeat. Esha va uttama shloko na jihasati yad yashaha hatva mainang hared yudhe shaita nihato maya Eshava uttama shloko najiha satiyat yashaha hatva mainang haret yudhe shaita nihato maya Eshava uttama shloko najiha satiyat yad yashaha hatva mainang haret yudhe shaitani hato maya Eshava uttama shloko najiha satiyat yashaha hatva mainang haret yudhe shaitani hato maya Eshava uttama shloko najiha satiyat yasha Eshava uttama shloko najiha satiyat yashaha hatva mainang haret yudhe shaita nihato maya Eshava uttama shloko najiha satiyat yashaha hatva mainang haret yudhe to maya. Vaishnavis. Eshava uttama shloko najiha satiyat yashaha hatva mainang haret yudhe shaita nihato maya Eshava uttama shloko najiha satiyat yashaha hatva mainang haret yudhe Shaita nihato maya. Eshaha. This brahmachari. We like to say, safe journey to our Krishna Pad Prabhu. I think he's the only one in saffron in the room. Is that maybe? Maybe myself. Brahmachari in saffron. So this brahmachari is leaving us today, I'm afraid. He's giving up his, let's say, time here in New Mayapur. We thank him very much for being here for the last few weeks, rendering lots and lots of service. And I'm sure everyone appreciated his association, his kirtan, and his wonderful spirit of surrender. It's very fresh to see somebody who's, in a position to take advantage of this privilege of being able to surrender one's 24 hours of the day in service. Va, either. Uttama shlokaha is Lord Vishnu, who is worshipped by Vedic prayers. You can imagine what's coming up here now. I guess this is this Shukracharya speaking? Huh? Bali, okay. Well, he's already got that info that this brahmachari is not just a little brahmachari who got lost in the forest and just turned up here somehow or another. But this is a big plot going on here by the opposition party to foil your attempts at yoga. No, not. Jihasati, desires to give up. Yat, because. Yashaha, perpetual fame. Hatva, after killing. Ma, me. Ainam, all this land. Haret, will take away. Yudhe, in the fight. Shaita, will lie down. Nihataha, being killed. Maya, by me. Translation and purport by His Divine Loving Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. So Bali Maharaj continues to speaking to his spiritual master. If this Brahmin really is Lord Vishnu, who is worshipped by Vedic hymns, he would never give up his widespread reputation. Either he would lie down having been killed by me, or he would kill me in a fight. Report. Bali Maharaj's statement that Vishnu would lie down having been killed is not the direct meaning. For Vishnu cannot be killed by anyone. Lord Vishnu can kill everyone, but he cannot be killed. Thus, the real meaning of the words lie down is that Lord Vishnu would reside within the core of Bali Maharaj's heart. He'll lie down there. Lord Vishnu is defeated by a devotee through devotional service. Otherwise, no one can defeat Lord Vishnu. Nice little purport. Of course, people try to, as we see in history. In one sense, we could say in ignorance, but modern day efforts are often aimed at that, really, to defeat Lord Vishnu, defeat the very concept of God existing, or to thwart his natural plans, somehow to interfere with nature, to deny scriptural injunctions, to condemn deity worship, the Lord's manifestation in that form, to belittle the chanting of the holy names, etc. Trying to, take God out of the picture. And sometimes we have heard in scientific circles that, if we're going to talk science, we have to first of all set the scene that don't mention God. He has nothing to do with it. Some, not all, premise. This is the mentality, you could say, of trying to kill God. But one cannot kill God. He may, we could say, unmanifest. He's not. He doesn't reveal himself. What's that? Naham prakasha sarvasya. That verse in the Bhagavad Gita. I am never manifested to the fools, the rascals. He doesn't show himself. He's there, but by his potencies, yoga maya potencies, you can't see him. He remains hidden. Even the thought of his existence, the Lord will take that away, give all kinds of arguments which seem to be logical to deny the existence of a supreme being. That also comes from Krishna. He's fulfilling the desire of the living entity, and they think now we have killed God. They break the deities, or now he is slain. He doesn't exist anymore. I think one of the most God-conscious books is written by a Mr. Dawkins. What's his name? Dawkins? Richard, thank you. Richard Dawkins. He comes from the United Kingdom, right? He's English. Most of the, very, let's say, it's like Stephen Hawkins and Richard Dawkins. They both come from England. It rhymes. Hawkins and Dawkins, two of the biggest proponents of mundane atheistic philosophy, we could say. And he had one book called, what is it called? God's Illusion or something, wasn't it? Something like that. God Illusion, thank you. And what is the book about? It's about God. They can't get him off his mind, So God doesn't exist, but God is like Kamsa. He wanted to kill Krishna, but he couldn't get him off his mind, right? Day and night, damn it, get out of my mind. But Krishna, here I am. You imagine your enemy, your best enemy. I mean, you don't have to announce your best enemy right now. We probably got various persons in our life who would stand out there. But imagine everywhere you go, there they are. You go to the bank. Here I am. The shop. the traffic light. Hey, here I am. It's always like a ghost. Like being ghost. Ghost. It's like that. You can't get it. And then we hear in the Bhagavatam how persons like that, in one sense, are more God-conscious. Narada Muni says their godliness is they're even more intensively absorbed in God than we are. The aspiring devotees. Of course, it's in the wrong way, but still, it's there. If God doesn't exist, why so much talk about him? What a stupid thing to do. Talk about something that doesn't exist all the time. And religions all over the world, knowing or unknowingly, God comes up, They may not know what is it, but the concept comes up. So this Brahmin, Bali Maharaj has been informed, is actually God in disguise. In disguise. But he's actually, everything is an expansion of God. The devotee sees God everywhere. People in general, they don't see it like that. They see It's incredible seeing everything has just sort of happened by chance, the digestion, the breathing, everything just kind of evolved, I don't know what we were doing before it evolved. How could you breathe? Interesting. No cause other than just some kind of, we're going to get there soon, don't worry. We'll find out what the cause is. And we'll be able to duplicate it, replicate what's going on. But it's already going on. How many cells are there in our body? Billions. They're all dependent and independent simultaneously going on there. They've got their own world. Inside a cell, I've never looked. I've been inside a prison cell, but not in one of the cells in the body. What does it look like inside there? What does it look like? Huh? What? What? Like a factory? Oh, I don't want to go there. They say that it's so complex. I don't know. Such a complex system, organized, perfectly coordinated, going on there. Incredible. You can't even see it. And apparently it's full of, like a city going on inside there. It's kind of like, poof, can't even understand it in terms of what it is, what to speak of, how it came about. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. But the Lord covers our intelligence, He covers our consciousness, and no, like Shukracharya, guru of the demons. There's so many scientists and philosophers and whatever. They're like the gurus, convincing everyone that atheism is the absolute truth. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said the only religion which will prolifically be successful in Kali Yuga is atheism. The religion of especially Kali Yuga. You get a lot of support from governments, financiers, systematically dismantling the concept that there's a supreme God to whom we have to surrender, particularly. If there's a God there, He's simply an order supplier, that's all. You can do what you like and just say, give me this. It's not a question of surrender. The idea of surrender is almost a dirty word, isn't it? It's like surrender. Many times Prabhupada was challenged, young hippies, I don't need to surrender. Why are you telling me I have to surrender? I don't need to surrender to anyone. Sometimes they would say like that. I would say, but you have to surrender to death. No, I don't. Madness. We have to surrender at every moment to the material nature, if nothing else. What to speak of our senses and minds? Constantly surrendering to our trying to. Not a very good master, because it gives us a lot of problems. But we're constantly surrendering to our mind and the thoughts there, the bijas and the kutas in our hearts, tendencies and desires, because we think that's me. This is me. In a subtle way. And what's the result of that surrendering to the material illusion? What's the result? Does it does it make us really happy? Let's say we hang on to our so-called wealth, our possessions. This is one of Bala's arguments. Huh? You're going to lose it all at the time of death anyway. Why are you so attached? Imagine leaving our body attached to our pet dog, attached to our family, attached to our house, attached to our habits, attached to our wealth, our body especially, attached to so many things. Is that a good thing? Well, people may think, yes, that's very good. Very good. They think like that. But is it really a success? You're going to lose it. There's that nice story, probably told it a few times before. Mahamurkha. You know the story of Mahamurkha. Murkha means big. Mahamurkha means big fool. Murkha is fool. Big fool. One time there was a king. There's always some kings. So this king, he was an atheist. And he was traveling around his kingdom with one of his ministers. And he saw one, like an avadut. He looked like an urchin, a bit of a wretch. He was a sadhu. He didn't care less about bodily things. He had nothing to live, nothing, just living. So the king said, "Who's that fellow over there?" And his minister said, "He's a crazy man. He's mad." The king said, "There are mad people in my kingdom?" "Oh, yeah, there's people like this. They're all crazy." "Really?" "Oh, my goodness. What to do?" He said, "Look, we'll have a wager. Let's have some fun. You go around the kingdom and you find the maddest person in the kingdom, and I'll give him 1 gold coin. Okay? A reward. Who is the maddest person?" So the minister, okay, he went about his business. "Are you the maddest person?" "No, no, no, I'm not the maddest person." He would go here and there and everywhere looking, and nobody would accept the title as the maddest person. Not generally, people won't accept that title, even if they are the maddest person. And eventually he came back to that avadut, that Babaji, whatever. And he said, "Sir, are you the maddest person in the kingdom?" "Oh, yes, certainly I'm the maddest person in the kingdom," he said. "Really?" Because he thought he was anyway. He said, "Yes, I'm the maddest person in the kingdom." He said, "You're a lucky day, sir. Here's a gold coin for you." And the avadut said, she just threw it in the garbage. Rubbish. And then the minister started, "Whoa, he really is the maddest person. I just gave him a gold coin. He just threw it away like stool. He surely is the maddest person in the kingdom." So he went back to the king. The king said, "Did you find the maddest person?" "Oh, yes, I certainly did." "How did you ascertain that?" "Well, he said he was. Do you remember that guy we saw a few weeks or months ago, that crazy-looking urchin? It was him." "Oh, really?" "Well, there we go." "And what happened then?" "Well, I gave him the coin. He just threw it in the garbage." The king laughed. "My God, what a fool, what a fool." Anyway, life goes on. The sadhu was just happily chanting the holy names of Krishna. And the king was growing old. And, old age isn't the best time of life for most people. It brings a little fear and unhappiness in many people's hearts. You realize that, things are fading away. You can't do what you did when you were a young kid. And maybe other things happening, maybe some physical disturbance, maybe some mental shortcomings. Who are you? I've seen, one of my disciples, his father had some when he was old, and what do they call this? He can't remember things. What's it called? Alzheimer's, something like that. And dementia, all these things. He couldn't even remember his own son. He would come and say, "Who are you? Who are you?" "Okay, well, when's breakfast?" He'd just eaten. 2 minutes before, just had breakfast. He said, "When's breakfast?" Couldn't even remember. What a state to be in. You can't remember whether it's washing up liquid or orange juice. Literally. It's a pathetic situation. This old age situation can be really, And then death comes and no idea what's happening. No, I'm not going to die. I think, Goswami, you were telling me yesterday, denial is a very common thing of death. I'm not going to die. No. But it's inevitable as certain as death. Nothing is more certain. Huh? So the king got old and death was approaching. And he's lying there, suffering. And death is coming. And the minister is there, his wife, his children. People are coming to see him. The priest. Although he's an atheist, still, priests come. You see that all the time. And I saw it at my father's funeral. And he went to church maybe once or twice in his life, but I saw, for a wedding and this and that. Never read the Bible. He wasn't an atheist, but he was, not interested. But even atheist people, they have this thing, the priest comes, going to heaven, la, 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 or whatever it is. They have no interest in that. So anyway, he's getting old. And he's dying, and he's lying there, groaning, oh no, death is coming. Everyone's coming, people are crying, the king is dying. Crying and dying, lying. And then the king said, oh, this is terrible. Please, I want to see all my citizens before I die. The doctor said, you haven't got much time left. Your time is not up. It's almost finished. Oh, I want to see all of my citizens before I die. So they're all lined up, thousands and thousands of people to pay their last respects to the king. And then lo and behold, at the end of the queue is Mahamurkha, who has come, the big fool, who has come to pay his last respects to the king. He comes before the king who's lying there. Oh no, Mahamurkha's here. Oh no. Oh, anyone but him is there. And the king is crying. His wife is there, tears, and everyone's crying. And Mahamurkha says, why are you crying? The king said, you fool. You don't know that I'm dying? I'm dying? Why should you cry? You have a nice family. You have so much wealth, so many followers. You have all that anyone could ever ask for. Why are you crying now? You fool! You idiot! Don't you understand that I'm dying and I cannot take it with me? Oh, you worked your whole life and you accumulated so many things, and now you're losing it? Yes. Oh, I see, you worked very hard, and the result is you're crying. Here, take this gold coin. He threw it in the face of the king. You are the biggest Mahamurkha in the universe. He shouted at him, you ass. You worked your whole life and you're crying. The king had a bit of a wake-up call. A bit late. Better late than never, as our neighbor said the other day. But people don't wake up. They just go to sleep. Lying down on the battlefield, dead. What next, they do not know. So here we see Bali Maharaj is giving, in this section, a very simple but very relevant instruction that we're going to lose everything that we think is ours. Except, Prabhupada said, there's only one thing we can say is mine. What is that? One thing. We can't say thing, in one sense, it's not a thing. Huh? You could say service. But Prabhupada said Krishna. Krishna is mine. It's not that we can imitate this, but this ultimately is everything else will go away. Taken away, like it or not. Our voice, our sight, our ears, everything gone. Our false teeth even. We'll lose it all. I want my false. I want to go I want to go underground with my false teeth. They do. They put in Chinese people particularly. They put artificial money, artificial cars, all sorts of things, artificial houses. They put it all in there in the box, just to make sure you definitely have to take birth again, along with your karma. Such an illusion. But we have to lose it all, even our so-called, position, our strength, knowledge, renunciation, everything gone. Because it does not belong to me. So actually, it's just a matter of realizing everything belongs to Krishna. Bali Maharaj this is surrender. It's not just a matter of giving what we think is ours. It's realizing that nothing is mine. I exist only for the pleasure of Krishna. We don't exist for our own sense gratification to fulfill at different stages, of course, that will be there, but ultimately it's to realize that everything is belonging to Krishna. That's the only peace, satisfaction. It's not this stupid idea that now you're dead and you're living in peace forevermore. Nonsense. Nonsense. The real peace is Bhoktaram Yogatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwama. When we understand that Krishna is the proprietor, he's the owner of everything. Loka Maheshwama. He's the enjoyer of yajna. Bhoktaram yajna. So the yajna of Sankirtan. In this age, the yajna, the Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, the austerity, the sacrifice, the offering in this age, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, is, what is it? It's very simple. Yajna Sankirtanam Prayarya Jantihi Sumedashaha. It is the chanting of the holy name. This is the surrendering process for Kali Yuga. Bali Maharaj had control temporarily of the universe, you could say. I sacrificed that. From the material point of view, it looks like a great sacrifice. But it is nothing compared to the sacrifice of Sankirtan, the yajna of Sankirtan, because that purifies, not only it pleases the Lord, but it purifies everything and everyone. Even the trees, the stones, everything. Our stone-like hearts, everything gets the purification of the sound vibration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifesting himself in the form of Nam Prabhu. This is how he appears in Kali Kalera Namarupa Krishna Avatara. He appears in Kali Yuga as Namarupa, the form of the name. So spreading the Sankirtan movement is the yajna. As Bali Maharaj was performing a yajna, a great yajna there on the banks of the Narmada, to achieve even more power. We're not interested in achieving power, we're interested in glorifying the powerful. Most people perform yajna to try to get more of the energy of God. That may come or not come, but the devotee is performing yajna to please the powerful, not to receive anything in terms of power in return. That's up to Krishna. We just take shelter of the powerful and depend on Krishna. He can do anything, kill us or not kill us. He can do anything he likes. But I'll just read a little bit, since this is the first day of the World Holy Name Festival, and we're finished with a little bit from there. This is from different places. We could millions of quotes on the chanting of the holy name are there. Even in Srila Prabhupada's books, there are thousands, more than anything else in Srila Prabhupada's books. You'll see the emphasis is on chanting the holy name. Let's go back to the 4th canto of Bhagavatam, chapter 12, text 10, purport. At the present moment, Prabhupada writes, however, almost all forms of sacrifice are not at all possible. Therefore, it is recommended in the Shastras that people should perform Sankirtan Yajna. Any householder, regardless of his position, can perform this Sankirtan Yajna without expenditure. This is a very special thing. People spend millions and millions of rupees or whatever currency they have sometimes performing some sacrifice. Not so much in the West, maybe they do it for mundane sense enjoyment, but in India, some countries, they do big yajnas. Thousands of people, 1,008 kunds, spending millions, and they have big yajnas for their family. They spend, was it the Hindujas or something? They built an island in the bay off of Mumbai just for the wedding, with a bridge going across to it, and they flew people in and to the airport from all over the world in then helicopters straight onto the island. They spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of rupees just on their daughter's wedding. Yajna. And it's not the real yajna, it's karma yajna. But Sankirtan Yoga doesn't cost. How much does it cost to chant Hare Krishna? How much they charge you for chanting the Maha Mantra? Or pay you? They pay you. They've got to pay people to chant sometimes now, I heard. Yes, somebody was saying that the other day. They have to, I'll do it if you pay me. Huh?
The price of the faith.
Price of one's faith. Okay, there is a price on it, of course, to really, in the real yajna is that which pleases Krishna, and for him to reveal himself, to surrender is our faith. The deeper our genuine faith, unmotivated, unmixed, completely surrendering to the holy name, giving up everything for the holy name. As Bali gave up everything for Vamana, we must give up everything in the service of the name. But it doesn't cost, I mean, even if you're a beggar, anyone can become perfect by chanting the holy name. It doesn't cost anything. You can be a beggar, on the streets in Paris, I always forget, I don't always forget, sometimes I remember, I always say, make sure we take some fruit with us when we drive through Paris, because you almost inevitably have some people coming up to your window begging, right? Lady with a baby in her arms, whatever, Syrian refugee or whatever it is. But we should give prasadam, a cookie or something they can identify with. You don't give them a gulab jamun or, fruit salad or something, which they cannot identify, something they can identify with, which they will actually eat. Something that they can take. Even halwa, because most of them are Muslim, and they won't, it's a little sensitive, when it's a cooked food. So you have to convince them that it's, it's okay, it's halal, whatever. And but fruit is always a good one, apple, banana, something or another. Preach Krishna consciousness like that. All the family members sit down together, clap their hands, and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Is it difficult? Doesn't cost anything. You have a tongue, you have, probably even in one place he said, there's no need for instruments, just clap your hands and chant Hare Krishna. It's enough. Even if you have no hands, just chant. Even if you have no tongue, chant in your heart. Do something can go on. Write the Maha Mantra. I know devotees who are dumb, they write the Maha Mantra. They write it. Somehow or another, Maha Mantra. Serve the name. So somehow or another, everyone can manage to perform such a yajna and distribute prasadam to the people in general, Prabhupada says. Two things. These are our two main, or maybe with our God-given gifts, we may do other things, but these two anyone can do. We may have some little intelligence given by Krishna to think of other things to do. Very small we have, but a little bit we may have something. But especially this, distributing prasadam, what is the difficulty? What is the difficulty? One devotee in London, he wasn't very much serious about things, but he loved prasadam. And Prabhupada was actually there. And he said, he was somehow talking to Prabhupada and said, I want to go. I don't want to stay. And I said, why? I don't like this. I'm not into this chanting, the philosophy, these deities, the devotees, this regulated program. Not into it. What? What do you like here? He said, I just like the food, the prasadam. Okay. It's good. So you just go out. Why don't you just go out on the street and say, hey, take some of this. It's really good. Take some of this food. Fantastic. We preach. Even if that's all we like, prasadam, distribute it. Convince others it's good. You preach, you get so much mercy. So this is quite sufficient, Prabhupada said, for this age of Kali. Prasad distribution, spreading the holy name. The Krishna conscious movement is based on this principle. It's like Lochan and Krishna Pastaya and Gandharvika, and who else was it? Vidura and Bruno. Who else was in your team? Olivier, Valen, huh? Oh, Steve was there. Who else was in your team? Where are you going, for prasadam? Huh? Huh? Hey, you're going to serve it. Great service. That's the best thing. So, and there was Olivier and Fatima, huh? 7, 8, 9 devotees were, and Pratibha was with you too. Came for a little while. And they distributed prasadam near Etamp, huh? Near Etamp. And how many plates? Or koftas or whatever? 1,200 plates of prasadam. How many koftas? They didn't count the koftas. Innumerable koftas. You doing koftas?
Yeah, we couldn't give free samples like other festivals because we got straight away busy.
Too busy, yeah? Full on. So just see how people, this they can take. Prasadam. It's a great, we can't underestimate the power of prasadam. So many people are attracted. People walk miles. Even that fellow from Apple, what was his name? Steve Jobs. I heard he used to walk miles just to get prasadam when he was a student.
11 miles.
Huh?
He was walking 11 miles.
11 miles? My goodness, that's quite a distance. You'd be half dead by after 11 miles. Incredible. Anyway, whatever he was doing, he was walking for prasadam. And I know, we see it everywhere. When we were doing food, after the earthquake in Christchurch, I was there, and afterwards we were doing Food for Life, and people were walking miles just to get the hot halava. Hot halava. They just fill up, like a bucket almost. Can you just fill it up, They love the halava. In some places, maybe not in France, I don't know, but in Australia, New Zealand, they love the halava. Right? They'll pay it for it. They'll pay anything for it if it tastes good. The Australians, right? If it tastes good, they give everything, isn't it? Just get the taste. They're not so much interested in filling the belly. They're interested in the taste. They spend their money on taste. You guys have got the best taste. Give me this. Whatever. In France, it seems like they like koftas. Is that right? And then maybe other things. And somehow or another, get that prasadam down them. And people are appreciating the holy name. Everywhere we go, we see people like the chanting. It's not a fact. I remember the first time I came here, which was quite a while ago, about 2006 or 7, I can't remember, something like that. I mean, I've been here before, but the first time for a long time. And I said, do we go on Harinam? They said, sometimes once a week. I said, what about the local villages? Oh, we never go there. I said, why not? They don't like us. I said, when did you last go there? About 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago maybe. How do you know they don't like us? Well, they didn't like us then. I don't know. I never know. So we went out. It was really fun. People were laughing and waving like anything. And Prabhupada says, even jokingly, if they chant the holy name, they get so much benefit. Even they say, hey, Krishna, get lost. Go away, you Haris. They get benefited. It's all auspicious. The Krishna conscious movement is based on this principle. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra at every moment. As much as possible, both inside and outside of the temple. And as far as possible, distribute prasadam. This process can be accelerated with the cooperation of state administrators and those who are producing the country's wealth. Not so much maybe directly, but indirectly. I think the festival was organized by some government department, was that right? And they allowed you to go there and distribute prasadam and books. Fatima was distributing books as well, I heard. Yeah, she's got this bug in her to distribute Prabhupada's books. Amazing. It's a good bug to have. It's better than the bed bugs. That's book bugs. We need book bugs, not bed bugs. We've got to have more book bugs. If you want to become a book bug, just let us know. Simply by liberal distribution of prasadam and sankirtan, the whole world The whole world can become peaceful and prosperous. Pretty nice line. Huh? It may not be with, money in the bank, but prosperous, just like Mahamurkha, is not always, having a lot of wealth. Real prosperous is that we're actually enriched, you could say, in spiritual understanding or Krishna consciousness, the real wealth. And naturally one will be peaceful because one is no longer agitated to try to fulfill unending anarthas and material desires. That's a little purport from Prabhupada. There are countless purports, and time has expired, but during this next 2 weeks to read and hear about the holy name, you can never end. It goes on eternally. Krishna is eternal. His name is eternal. The glorification of his name is eternal. Prasadam, by the way, is also eternal, and the glories of Prasadam are eternal. And when we were young devotees, we were told, and I think this was just some propagation line, some Prabhupada said line. We were told that Prabhupada said that if everyone takes halava for breakfast, if the whole world has halava for breakfast, there will be world peace immediately. I guess everyone will fall asleep, so there'll be peace. If you eat enough. Devotees used to eat so much halava. I don't know how you French devotees were like, but if halava was served, there was no limit to the amount of halava a devotee could consume. How was it like in your early days, Hridai? Were you a halava addict? Were you a halava addict? I was a halava addict for halava. Halava addict. It was the most convincing thing to me. Halava, do you like halava, Gopaswami, when you were a new kid? Too much halava. It's magic, isn't it? It's just so simple. So simple. Wasn't that you telling me you had Vidura? Were you serving halava? Yeah. And Vidura was serving it? And people were asking, what is it? And he was, there's a queue of 500 people, and he's explaining all the details to each person, how to make the come, we haven't got time to do that. There's 500 people waiting. And he's like, going into the details. Oh, you take farina and you so much farina and put it and you heat up so much butter and you fry it like this, then until it's golden brown and you add the... It's fascinating. Halava is like magic, a magic weapon. It really is. It has such an effect on people. And maybe kofta, so many things. Some or another. Get that mercy in them. Get it into them. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. I think that today we're going to a little bit of... Is that a little plan to go out today, Agni Day Prabhu?
Yes, after lunch.
After lunch. That's like 2:30, is it? It might not be the biggest day of the week. I was yesterday in Châtillon or Châtillon? How do you pronounce it? Châtillon. Châtillon. I was there yesterday afternoon, and a really good place for Harinam. Really good. I saw, and all the time I was there, I saw one person in the street. It was really good. Really good. It was a really busy day. I said, what's market day? And they said, I think it's today, no? Oh, so that's really, now I can understand why there's one person in the street. I can't imagine what it's like when it's not market day. But actually it wasn't market day. Today is market day in Châtillon. But they got it was wrong initially, but they thought it was Friday, but it was Thursday today. Yesterday was Thursday. So today, if you really want to go out now, there'll be hundreds of millions of people on the streets of Châtillon. I'm sure they won't be able to hardly move there. And anyway, it's market day there. There's a grand total of 10 stalls there in the market today, apparently. Anyway, more than a key. But today, Friday, there's our markets today, but they're in the morning. Sankirtan around the villages can be very good in the morning. Seltzer Share on Thursday is really busy, really, really busy. That like up till 1 o'clock, and after that is really quiet. And the most of them, like Loesch, is Wednesday. My good, is it packed on Wednesday morning. Afternoon, there'll be people around, but not so many, but more than there will be in Akriya, I can assure you that. Yes. Every Priti Viti, what's that famous verse? Who knows it? Priti Viti? Nagaradi Gram. Spread the holy name to every town and every village. Not just one town, every town and every village. The holy name should be heard and chanted. This will purify the world. This is the yajna. In another place, in the 4th canto, Prabhupada describes how King Prachini Barhishat was performing yajnas all in, or even in desert areas. Ambarish Maharaj is the same, to bring auspiciousness even in the deserts, all over the world, performing yajna one after the next. Addicted to karma kanda in that case, yajnas, showing people how to do it properly so they can progress. That was the mood of Ambarish, at least. But this King Barishat, he was attached to it. He was a yajna addict. Karma yajna, karma kanda yajna, for material benefit. So, of course, Narada Muni delivered him, but Prabhupada writes in the purport, as he was performing yajna one after the next in different places, they never stopped, like a traveling circus. Said Sankirtan should be performed non-stop. As soon as you finish one yajna, you should start another. The Sankirtan movement, Kirtaniya Sadahari. One village, then the next village. Maybe not the same devotees, we're not on that level of, Haridas Thakur or something, but, this yajna should always be going on to create this auspicious atmosphere. Hare Krishna. So we finished first paragraph of 38 quotes. We won't carry on. That's it for today. So please join the devotees this afternoon after lunch if you're not otherwise engaged. If you are engaged, please do not leave your engagements. That is not Sankirtan. Sankirtan means to do that which is pleasing to the Lord. So if you have another engagement, and you have to always check with one's authority before deciding it's a good idea. I'll come back at midnight and do it. And in the meantime, 10 devotees have been inconvenienced because the pots were not washed or whatever. So please make sure the services are done. But if you're free or you can be free, please come and join the Sankirtan Yajna in Losh. Losh. Whatever it is, chant the holy names. And if you're not, Yajna here, Sankirtan here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'm going to make a threat again. It's not an offer, it's a threat again. One day, one feast, it would be nice if their fitness is allowing us, if Agni Dev Prabhu, Gopaswami Prabhu, Paramgati Prabhu, and myself cook the feast. What do you think about that? What do you think, Agni Dev Prabhu? You up to it? 4 of us? An old-time feast.
You can have one helper just to.
Oh, you have more than one helper. You have to have a few helpers to carry the pots, obviously. What do you think, Paramgati Prabhu? You're a good cook, I know you are. Wouldn't it be nice? It'd be exciting. Advertise it, And then another day you put it on the ladies' side, have the elderly Matajis cook the feast, It'd be interesting before we can't do it anymore. The last stand, the last cook-up. Anyway, just a suggestion. Maybe Vidai Chaitanya Prabhu, you can be here then too. You can also. Thank you all very much, and thank Vidai Chaitanya Prabhu for joining us for. I thought it was for 10 days, but I've heard it's not 10 days now. We're disappointed. I'm sorry, Janananda Prabhu was announcing you were staying till the 20th. Oh no. When are you flying to India?
24.
Well, that's no problem. You can stay till the 20th. 20th is Bhadra Purnima. Hare Krishna. So he's very busy, but for the devotees here, Vidai Chaitanya Prabhu made the extra effort to drive all the way from Bangladesh and back in 4 days, just to, on these difficult times to travel, of course, with COVID and so many things are there, but he came out and put himself out to come here for 4 or 5 days, so please appreciate and be grateful that he's made this effort to come here to give his association and discuss with the managers how we can move forward and other devotees, etc. So thank you very much for coming, and we wish you whatever. We'll see you the next few days, of course, but your journey to India being safe and productive, effective, etc. Jai Prabhupada. Any scores from yesterday? No book scores from yesterday?
Yes, I did. It was only boys from Paris.
I know, nothing. They never reported anything yesterday. They went. I mean, they were out there. I know. I don't know about Natai, but party in Toulouse were out on the street. I spoke to them when they were on the street yesterday. And no scores. Interesting. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mahaprasade, Govinda Prasad ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai.
Holiness, Janananda, Goswami.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
And tomorrow will be Maha Harinam in Tours.